Welcome to the Mathematics segment from the November 13th, 2012 first grade webinar, Transforming Elementary Classrooms, Extending the Work of TLI 2012. This webinar has been broken into two segments in order to create sections that are more manageable for classroom teachers. Let me introduce myself. I am Lynn Baker, a coordinator in the Office of Early Learning. My primary focus is mathematics and science in the elementary classroom. The Office of Early Learning is a new office within the West Virginia Department of Education. Our challenge is to transform the learning experience for elementary students pre-K to 5th grade. Throughout this year, you will be receiving information and support from our office as we develop pre-K through 5th grade professional support system. During this session, we will examine the development of fluency within the next generation CSOs, and particularly the way it relates to first grade. Just a reminder, West Virginia's next generation CSOs are directly aligned to the Common Core state standards. If you view your grade level standards on Teach 21, you will find the Common Core state standards number at the end of the standard. This session will also briefly touch on how questioning may be used to develop fluency. This quote from Making Thinking Visible by the Harvard Graduate School of Education was used as a transition between the segments during the webinar. Take a moment to read and ponder this quote. Classrooms are too often places of tell and practice. The teacher tells the students what is important to know or do, and then has practice that skill or knowledge. In such classrooms, little thinking is happening. Teachers in such classrooms are rightly stumped when asked to identify the kinds of thinking they want students to do, because there isn't any to be found in much of the work they give students. Retention of information through rote practice isn't learning, it's training. We want to create classrooms where students are constantly thinking in order to make sense. Students not only need to think about what they are learning, but how do they learn best. Last year, I'm sure you heard the various shifts in the English Language Arts standards. This year, Lou and I are focusing on the major shifts in mathematics as West Virginia transitions from the 21st century standards to the next generation mathematics standards. Notice the first three are focus, focus, focus. The mathematics in each grade is more focused. Each grade level has a fewer number of concepts, not necessarily fewer standards. It is important for you as a first grade teacher to focus on your standards and objectives. Your first grade standards and objectives are built on the kindergarten objectives, and the second grade will build on the first grade objectives. I have included a document of the progression of standards from pre-K to second grade that was used during the TLI last summer. You will find this document on the OEL Resources Google site. The next shift is coherence. Coherence refers to the standards that are connected across grade levels, as well as with major topics within a grade level. The last shift is rigor, and this is where we're going to focus today. Rigor has three components: conceptual understanding, procedural skill and fluency, and application. Think about this misconception. Our students enter school with the misconception that the goal in math is to do it fast and get it right. Do we as teachers contribute to this way of thinking? Do we praise students who easily get the answer? Do we become impatient with students when they need more time to think? As soon as one student raises his or her hand, other students may shut down. There is no reason for them to continue thinking. Instead, think about giving everyone sufficient time to think before allowing anyone to raise their hand. You could have a signal that would indicate that it's time to raise and respond to the question. What is fluency? This is much more complex than simply memorizing math facts. I have included a link to a letter from the NCTM president, Linda Gojak. She quotes from the Principles and Standards for School Mathematics. Computational fluency refers to fluency when they demonstrate flexibility in the computational methods they choose, understand, and can explain these methods and produce accurate answers efficiently. These computational methods that a student uses should be based on mathematical ideas that the student understands well, including the structure of the base 10 number system, properties of multiplication and division, and number relationships. Linda's letter is an interesting read. You may want to use it as a focus of discussion in grade level meetings or for PLCs. M1OA6 is identified fluency standard for first grade, demonstrating fluency for addition and subtraction within 10. However, there are elements that contribute to fluency in other objectives. These are just a few of the concepts in first grade that contribute to a child becoming fluent in addition and subtraction within 10. Students apply properties of operations as strategies to add and subtract. They understand subtraction as an unknown add-in problem, relate counting to addition and subtraction, use strategies like counting on, making 10, creating equivalent but easier or known sums. Each of these support first graders as they become fluent in addition and subtraction. Notice that nowhere does it say memorize the addition and subtraction facts to 10. This graphic illustrates a pathway to fluency. This pathway begins with conceptual understanding. Once students understand the concept, practice helps the student to place it into memory. Only then will drill increase the speed or automaticity of the math facts or the procedures. Too frequently, we jump to the drill or the memorization first. Fluency is at the end of the path. Fluency is expected at the end of first grade with facts related to 10 in addition and subtraction. Students need to be able to carry this into second grade. It is not enough to know these at the end of first grade. As teachers, we ask numerous questions throughout the entire day. Do our questions focus on answer getting or developing understanding? This session focuses on mathematics. However, I believe it applies to all areas of the curriculum. We can serve as models for the students. As students hear us asking questions, they will begin to use similar questions in their conversations. A few other things to think about. Do our questions move student problem solving forward? Do our questions help students get past stumbling blocks without directly leading them to the answer? It is about student understanding, not moving forward on our lesson. Our questions can be used to reveal student thinking. Sometimes students have the correct answer, but with incomplete understanding. Other times, the students may have an incorrect answer, but understanding of the process or concept. The assistance a teacher would provide each student would be unique. I have included a link to the Cranberry estimation on the OEL Resources Google site. This video is available on learner.org. Once again, you can view this video independently or with a PLC or small group. As you view the video, listen for the questions the teacher uses. Do the questions focus on answer getting or developing understanding? Can you think of a question the teacher could have used to support the development of the understanding of the concept? During each webinar segment, we want to take the opportunity to highlight various materials that are available in the classroom teacher. Today I want to highlight the descriptive analysis of the next generation objectives. This document includes a description of each objective that has been vetted by the authors of the Common Core State Standards. Teachers may use these descriptions to help them clarify the meaning of an objective. Even though I've had the opportunity to study and even meet with the authors of the Common Core State Standards, I continue to study and learn more about these various standards and objectives daily. We have created a Google site to house the various materials referenced on the online professional development sessions. The link is on the Office of Early Learning website, where these recorded sessions are located. Once you've located the Google site, click on the K2 Resources link. The resources for this session are located in the first grade Developing Fluency folder. You will also find a link to a Google form that is being used as a reflection for this session. At the end of each month, we will email a certification of participation. You may include this certificate in your teacher evaluation portfolio. At the end of the reflection, there is also a section for future topics. Please list the topics that would be helpful to you as you extend your teaching practice. This concludes the session on developing fluency for first grade. If you have questions or need further assistance, please contact myself, Lynn Baker, at the email address shown, lhbaker@access.k12.wb.us. I want to thank you for participating. This concludes the webinar.